Okay, L5 is just a slight difference on L4. L4, our goal, we keep our front foot forward. Boom. L5, we're bringing our back leg through, Ayumiyashi. Ayumiyashi just means a walking step, so we step right through. Basically, this is the technique from first kata. 1, 2, we're stepping through first kata. 1, 2. Ashley's got a guard up. First kata. 1, 2. Obviously, we don't take it too literally, so it's just a Kumite version of the technique. The first 2 moves, the first kata. 1, 2. Pull our hand back. Unlike first kata where our hands and feet land together, in this instance, our hands, our hips and feet land together. So hands, hips, and feet should all land at the same time. Our goal is to stay low. The biggest mistake people make with this is they come up and it opens them up for a pick off. If anything, we want to shoot down to minimize the pick off space. So go 1 for 1, nice and slow. Dramatic, so might go 1, 2. Good. 1, 2. Good. Now, remember earlier I said about the backhand, it can seem arrogant nowadays for people to spar with a backhand back here. You notice if Ash has got his backhand nice and low, or it's probably easier for the camera. If I've got my backhand nice and low, if he taps my front hand, I'm going to be way too slow to get to his technique over the top. So if he goes fast, I'm going to be way too slow for that. I even knew it was coming. If my hand's here, in fact, all I have to do is move a few inches and I'm covered with my rear hand. So you can go nice and fast. And get my hand into place. It goes again. 1, it goes again. 2. So I've got my rear hand into place. Rather than having it out here where it's reliant on my front hand all the time, I need to show respect to my opponent by saying, I respect you enough to know that I need 2 hands to block. I can block here, can't block with the back hand here. So Superman, a bit faster now. Is up! Nice. Is up! Notice we're getting our back hands up for the block. So again, main focus, shoot low. Shoot low and stay low. Sorry. So we're going to shoot low, stay low, one more. Slow then fast. Shoot low, stay low. Again, make it look like a lunge, not a baby step. Make it look like a lunge. One more. So slow, look like a lunge. And we call it Superman because at the point of impact, we're about here. Kind of that Superman figure. It's not 1, 2. Even though Superman flies like that at times. It's 1, 1.5 rather than 1, 2. They almost work together. 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 1, 2. It has to be hitting him a split second after his front hand makes contact. So again, 1, and I get a bit of lean on. Hit. There's my impact. Notice the lean? If I stay there, the judge is going to say I was leaning. I've got to pop my body back up. 1, 2, pop my body back up. 1, 2, pop my body back up. So I get a little bit of lean, and I pop it back up. A couple more fast. It's up! I was still coming. It's up! It's up! Now, this hand, you notice once I've made contact, I hit here, this hand stays here all the time, and it finishes here. Think of this. Again, this hand is always here, it's always in the game. Having 2 hands in the game means if you always in some way have contact with your opponent. So even if you think of this technique here, 1, 2, 1, 2. This hand, this block is not enough to put their defense. their attack onto this side of this arm. But that's because I'm standing square. Sunshin is a metaphor, I'm standing square. As soon as I turn it on an angle, this same technique is enough to put his hand on this side of my arm. So if Ash strikes slowly, I reverse, 1. Now I'm pushing onto this side of my arm just by covering the center hemisphere. 1, 1, 1. This hand is now involved in the game. 1. So we're always involved. Now the same thing happens with our Superman. 1, our hand is involved. So let's say our technique wasn't great. Let's say he was moving away. The fact that I've got control because I've got touch of his arm, I can utilize that and continue on, maybe score an ippon. And even if I want 1, 2, and go for the ippon, so a judge rather give me my Superman, he'll give me the secondary technique. So nice and slow, in other words, 1, 2, 3. I can use that hand to control my opponent's movement. Medium pace, 1, 2. We've got a camera in the coffin. Stop! Stop! So we've got a backup technique. Okay, L6 is where we're utilising the intimidation factor behind our lunge punch. We're bringing a kick into the game. Another way to give our opponent something to think about. If all day I score with a lunge, bang, I score with a lunge, bang, my opponents are thinking, look out for that guy's lunge. And then every now and then I utilise it with something different. Lunge reverse, lunge reverse, lunge reverse. They're also starting to think, look out for his lunge reverse, lunge reverse. So we need to give them more to think about. So we want to just divide their focus. We can bring in kicks into the game, even if the kicks don't score. Bringing in kicks divides somebody's focus. You don't want someone just looking at your right hand thinking, watch out for that right hand, watch out for that right hand. You want their attention divided, thinking, look out for all 4 weapons, because the more divided the attention, the less focus it has on any particular weapon at a time. So again, we've got our focus on a lunge, a good quality lunge. We only have to get as close as their front hand. 1, that's our goal to start. 1. So if Ash goes, 1, and we get our knee up. 1. 1. Okay. Now we do lunge reverse, pretty much any kick bar a front kick. Because when we lunge, we have an angle on our body. So we've got our sides, our rounds, and our hooks. The front kick is more for your reverse punch because the reverse punch brings your hips into the game, which gives you a meigiri front kick. So to start with, you've got round, hook, or side. So we'll go 1 for 1. Give ourselves a bit more of a realistic distance. We just want to make sure we're in shot. So from here, 1, 2. So we'll back away a little bit now. It's the most common response you'll find. So have a tiny bit of backing away because we're not going to pretend we're fighting wimps. So from here, that's up. So we'll give them the target. That's up. Nice. That's up. We are. Toes. If you want, if you want. Okay, I only want to get as close as his front hand. Any closer, even if I'm expecting to back away, risk being picked off because you get into their personal space. So no closer than front hand, no closer than front hand, no closer than front hand kick, front hand kick, front hand kick.